A lot of legal hoops to jump through before we get to that point.
All right, so this all centers around the health care reform debate. May it be too costly? Well, one New Jersey Congressman, John Adler, is concerned about who will eventually pick up the tab. Congressman Adler joins us now from Philadelphia. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Gretchen.
So you are a Democrat, but you are not in favor of the public option, the very controversial aspect of the health care reform bill, right?
Well, I'm concerned that the current system is too expensive. The employers I talk to know that their premiums go up every year. We have to have some real health care reform. That involves cost controls. I'm not convinced yet that the House bill has a sort of House measures that would create cost controls for healthcare delivery and make things affordable for businesses and for taxpayers a year from now and a decade from now. So I have real concerns about the failure so far to incorporate the sort of cost controls that will make our system affordable for businesses and for taxpayers for years to come.
So you're one of the many Democrats in the House that say, wait a second, I'm not really comfortable with the proposals as they currently exist. Are you concerned, Congressman, that the momentum and sentiment behind Ted Kennedy's passing, they might name this bill after him, will put so much pressure on you, you'll have to cave and give in to the public option, give in to and speak in one voice for all Democrats?
Well, I'm not speaking as a Democrat. I'm speaking as an American. I think we have to get control of our healthcare system. That's very expensive for a lot of Americans. It's a very, very good system that really meets our healthcare needs, whether for young children or for our seniors. But we know that the cost curve is not sustainable for our economy, and we have to do something about it. We've got to bend that cost curve. I think the House bill makes some efforts to do that. I think there's some other things we have to add to make it really workable for America's businesses and for America's taxpayers for more than just 1 year. So I think there's a lot more work that has to be done to get this right. Having said that, we have to do something because we know that the current system, the status quo, is unacceptable for businesses and for people to pay for insurance.
Sure. Congressman, the president has stated that there's some type of right-wing conspiracy, that's the trouble in passing this health care legislation. He, in fact, said just that on the Smirkanish radio show last week. So what do you make of that assumption that there's a right-wing conspiracy when he has trouble with people in his own party like yourself?
Well, I don't think, first of all, that President Obama has trouble with Democrats or Republicans. I think we have to get a system that's workable, that's affordable for businesses, for individuals that pay a lot of money for health insurance for their families, and for taxpayers that collectively are picking up a very big tab for Medicare and for Medicaid. I think there are people on the left and the right that have their very strong philosophical views of what needs to be done. I think that sometimes they're very much off base.
I hate to interrupt, but I do need to get this in. Do you believe that it's accurate or correct for the president to blame the Republicans when, in fact, members of his own party have differing points of view?
Well, I think differing parts of view is what America's about. I think it's a healthy thing. I think we've got to keep talking about this.
So you're not going to say that you're not going to answer about whether or not the president should blame Republicans for that?
Yeah, I answer for myself and try to do what's right for the people of the 3rd District, New Jersey, and try to work with people in both parties to solve problems. I think that's what America's supposed to be about.
Yeah, but you're in a body that has 400 people in it, so we wanted to find out how you felt about what those other people are doing. Meanwhile, I want you to stay with us if you could, because there's another issue facing the people of New Jersey and America. Well,
he partied with the Lockerbie bomber. Now he wants to party in New Jersey. And residents are furious. We're talking about dictator and terrorist sympathizer Moammar Gadhafi. But Congressman Adler has a plan. He explains on the other side of the break.
And some residents in Englewood, New Jersey are up in arms over the reports that Libyan leader Moammar Gadhafi will be setting up camp there. Literally, he's pitching a tent, especially after he led that joyful homecoming last week for the convicted Lockerbie bomber. We're still with New Jersey Congressman John Adler, who presented a House resolution protesting Gadhafi's visit. What can you do, Congressman? They bought a place in 1982 right over there in Englewood, on Englewood Avenue, Thunder Rock, 4.7 acres. He's going to go there, pitch a tent on the front lawn. How can you stop him?
Well, we forget that before 9/11, before the first World Trade Center bombing in 1993, 189 Americans were slaughtered. Innocent lives were taken in 1988 by the Pan Am 103 Lockerbie bombing. A Libyan terrorist was let out of jail prematurely by Scottish authorities a week ago. When he got back to Libya, he was given a hero's welcome. This is a terrorist, a murderer, given a hero's welcome that included Colonel Gaddafi's own son walking at the airport.
Right.
Terrorists should be put in prison. They should not be allowed to be celebrated as heroes. And just to have a few weeks later to have Gaddafi come to our country and want to roam free in our country, want to spend nights in peaceful calm, that's an outrage. I'm very hopeful that the State Department will limit his travel. He could go to international territory at the UN. He should land by helicopter and then get out of our country. He has tried to get back in the League of Civil Nations, and this latest episode has reminded all Americans that he has been a friend to terrorism, and to have his own son celebrate terrorism is not what America should be about.
Well, you're 100% right, and I can't figure anyone in the studio or around the country, in this country, who disagrees with you. However, in reality, he did what the international community wanted him to do. He gave up his nuclear weapons. He told us how we got him. We helped uncover the AQ-Con nuclear network and the proliferation of them, which has helped our nation and the Western world try to stay free of terror attacks. So in that sense, are you forcing him to go back to the bad guys he was with?
Well, here's what he could do to show that he really wants to be moving Libya in the direction of modern Western thought and of humanity. He should put this terrorist under house arrest. This guy should never have been let out of a Scottish prison. There are a lot of survivors of these murdered victims, family members that are grieving today, grieving these last few weeks, as this terrorist is let out of prison. Gaddafi could do the right thing, put that guy away for life, out of the public view. That would at least suggest to us in America that he's serious about fighting against terrorism rather than celebrating a terrorist in his own country.
And now you have the Secretary of State who is from your neighboring state. You know her. Will you pick up the phone, call the Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, and say, get this done?
Well, I'm one of many people who are already reaching out to the Secretary of State to try to limit Gaddafi's travels within this country. But our U.S. senators from New Jersey have done that. New York senators have done that. We're doing the right thing to try to let her know that America does not want Gaddafi to be roaming free. I have not spoken to her directly, but I think America's making a clear statement, and I'm hoping the House of Representatives will pass a resolution making a clear statement. We don't want him roaming free while he's still harboring a terrorist.
Congressman John Adler, we certainly appreciate your sentiment, your time, and your interest in these two vital issues. Thanks so much for joining us this morning from New Jersey.
Thank you, Brian. Take care.
All right, straight ahead, the director of the CIA